Hello, students in LSC527. This is your instructor, Mary Moen, and this short video is going to help you visualize how to design your lessons in the special topic lesson to your class. Now, as you know, you've been divided up into teams. You each have your own topic, and you're creating a lesson on your subtopic within that topic. I just want to give you a little background information to what I'm going to show you now. Last year we had a smaller class, so there was 2 or 3 people in a group. So with a much smaller number, they actually combined their 2 topics into one big lesson. But since you have teams of 4 or 5, I'm asking each of you to put your lesson up in your LibGuide, and that's going to be like your learning management system. And then the person on your team designated to put the content into the Sakai weekly lesson is going to be putting your links into the Sakai weekly lesson so that your classmates will just be able to access the link to your LibGuide, which is the lesson on that subtopic of the overall group topic. So let's just kind of break down what these students last year did. So if you take a look, they have the title of their lesson, the instructors, they give an overview, they have some goals, they have some essential questions, which I didn't ask you to do this year. That's going to be done in 520. But anyway, then we go to, this should start looking familiar, student learning objectives, a warm-up, instruction, and activities. And this should start to look similar to what I do in my lessons and what the lesson plan template categories are. So you take your lesson plan template and you want to, when you put it on in an online class, you've got to think, okay, how are my students going to understand what they need to do? So let's follow along here and see what this group did. So they gave a nice overview in our society. They kind of justify librarians work with diverse populations, and then they tell you that what this lesson is going to focus on, and it's going to aid librarians in instruction of students with special needs. So they kind of say, hey, this lesson is for librarians who are going to be instructing patrons with different needs. So that's great. Gives you some context. Since there was 2 students in this group, one of them took culturally responsive teaching as their subtopic, and the other one took working with students with special needs as their subtopic. But as I said, they kind of combine these into one lesson on the learning management system. But let's go down to the student learning objectives. They each had 2, so they put all 4 up here. They had a nice warm-up where they gave a couple prompts. Think of a time when you didn't feel valued in a classroom and describe how that felt. Think of a time when you felt like your needs were not being served. How'd that make you feel? So they're like kind of appealing to the personal part of each student in the class. Like, hey, have you ever felt this? Did you ever have a need not being met? What'd that feel like? So it's a great way to engage people because it's personalized and it's connecting to their personal experience. And then by putting on the Padlet, people will get to see what other people posted and felt. So it's a nice warm-up activity to connect and then focus on the topic. So then very nicely, they have the instructional activities. They're very clear. So you're going to be reading. First, read through this short article on the need for diversity education in classrooms, and they give the link. Next, read the following 2 articles about culturally responsive teaching. I give the links. Next, please view the following short video. And it's by combining reading, text, and viewing video, they're kind of appealing to different learning preferences, which is a good idea. They have some more readings. They turn to the second subtopic, teaching students with special needs. And there's a bunch of readings and again a video, and then they have some weekly activities. And these, like what you're all doing, the weekly activities you're putting on your LibGuide, so they're instructing their students, their classmates, to also put their weekly activity on their LibGuide. and they have choose 3 culturally responsive teaching strategies and discuss how you would apply them in an information literacy or media literacy lesson in a library setting of your choosing. That's great because it's taking the content and making the students like think how they would apply it, kind of like grapple with it, internalize it. And so that's a higher level thinking skill. And again, the second activity is very similar, but just teaching students, learners with special needs. They're also using the forum post as a final reflection, and your team can have prompts for a forum post. And then they have a couple of extension activities if people are more interested in learning more about the topic. So that's a nice, simple lesson on that combined 2 subtopics. Now, this year, since the teams are so big, as I said, you're going to be doing your lesson on a LibGuide, and just think of it as a learning management system. And you just want to populate your lesson on your LibGuide. So here's an example on Wikipedia and fact checking, and this person, welcomes you to the lesson. These are the student learning objectives. They have a warm-up activity, start here, activity 1. They've got resources over here. I mean, it's up to you how you want to organize your lesson, but as you can see, it's the basic categories. Here's activity 2, and here's the lesson wrap-up, and this person didn't have any extension activities, but that is something I would encourage in case your classmates are more interested in the topic. So again, each one of you is going to be putting your subtopic as an online lesson in your LibGuide, and then the designated team person who's going to put it in Sakai, I'm going to send you all a separate video on how to do that. So I hope this was helpful. Let me just add one more comment about assessment. So basically the weekly activities, the way I do it is you get all the points if you do it. And then I provide comments on areas that could be improved. Well, I think it's best if you all do that as well. If your classmates do the activity, you just give them as many points as you've allotted for that activity. And as a team, you've got 40 points to work with, so you can like divvy up those 40 points however you see fit. And you can also use some of the points for the forum post. So if you have any questions, of course, I always encourage everyone to please contact me via email, but I hope this video helps you conceptualize what the special topic lessons to your class are going to look like. Thank you.